Good morning, folks. How we doing? It is 7:18 a.m. Sunday, September 24th, 2017. Those of you just coming in, I always do that. Like anyone and anything else, hopefully everything else, everyone else, as we move along on our journey of life, we find out new things. It's like driving down the road in a car on a highway somewhere you've never been. You run into new things. It's how we learn. It's how we progress. That's why as spirit, sentient energy that has no form other than energetic, no physical form, that's why we go into bodies. We actually evolve our energy while being here. This video is a little different. We have now many more scientists, geneticists, medical doctors, psychiatrists that are looking into what I've been doing, working on other people. And having said that, I want to state again, there are other people on this planet now, people who are some of my family members, source family, that are doing this. I've gone into them, made them stronger, and they're just doing wonderful. This DNA ICUC thing is different, but they're cranking people up, making them stronger. And it does all that does alter your DNA. It's just not like this DNA ICUC that I've been doing. Now, that having been said and out of the way, I want to talk about the brain itself. This is important information, again, for all these professional people, doctors and scientists and folks in that arena, to understand. I see this stuff. I see frequencies. The auric expressions they give off are the different colors that come off of different frequencies. I've got a listing of those too. It's in a DVD, Understanding Energy Frequencies and their auric expressions or something like that in their auras. The template I use for my DVDs, I can only put so much on them. I have to do pretty much plug and play with most stuff, most everything with computer and video and stuff. Anyway, I want to talk about the brain, how it functions metaphysically. I've spoken of the field of psychiatry, that in order for you to maximize your diagnosis, prognosis of people in a situation, you need to understand that there's two separate beings inside. I'm not saying y'all don't help a lot of people. I know you do. It's a fact. And personally, I'm appreciative of the fact that y'all are out there. But if you want to maximize what you can do, you need to be able to see, feel, understand the two different beings within inside that person, that physical body. The spirit that came from the planet originally, and then the visiting spirit that's inside there, which is the one you normally deal with, but at the same time you're seeing action from another spirit that's within the body. And when you can do that, see that, understand that, then you can do, your ability to help someone will be anywhere from 30 to 60%, 65% more. That won't happen overnight. You can't read a book and do that. You have to wake up your abilities. A lot of these scientists and geneticists, psychiatrists, doctors, I've gone into them and cranked them up. And some of y'all get freaked out, and I understand. I'm not belittling anyone. The first one to go through all this and deal with it was myself. When you've never had a feeling and then you go through this stuff, folks, that you feel alone, but you're not, because there's thousands of you now all over this planet, and more off planet. We'll leave that there, though. When you start feeling the pressure in your head you've never felt before, you say, what the hell's going on? When I started just waking up, getting stronger, all of a sudden I felt something move in my head. I felt it move. It was my pineal gland, but it almost felt like a big grub worm that just all of a sudden moved a little bit. Most people would be overly concerned about that because it's never been a part of their life. It's never been a part of their understanding. It's never been data for them to consume. I understand that. I've always done things that are not normal. Just knowing things. Talking with animals, that's been pretty interesting growing up. I've had things move around the house, just fly around. Not float around in like a little paper airplane that's got controls, just move. Things move physically. In the air, coffee cups sliding across a counter, coffee filters at a Starbucks, things jumping off of shelves. When they have a shelf and a little ridge on it, it goes like this, goes over the shelf. Whenever that would happen, I just leave. It'd be in metaphysical stores, and some of the people there were awake enough and strong enough to look at me. This one girl smiled. She saw it was my energy. I just left it. I didn't control it through my head. It's just my energy doing it. It's not my doing. So now that y'all have an understanding of some of the stuff that's impossible to believe until you wake up and start feeling, understanding a little more, you already know that there's stuff going on inside the human brain that's not normal. That's nothing we understand as normal. This is a new field. Literally, you walk into a new field you've never been in before, you know what's in there. It might be a big hole, might be some barbed wire, maybe some cow droppings. So you watch where you step, you're careful with what you do, but you become aware of what's there, and you add that to what you already have. You see the data, you understand it, and then it becomes another piece of your wisdom. All right, now, the brain, how does it work? I have a little bit of medical training, but it's not much. A couple of years. I was a scrub tech in the military, a medic, field medic. But anyway, I see things, and I can literally see inside the brain or the body. Anytime I need to, I can actually see inside it. Tumors, I've told people about problems they have within their spine, where there's issues with a disc shaped this way, that way. I'll give them the vertebrae, the two vertebrae, a disc, or disc, the vertebrae that the different discs are in between where they have problems. And a lot of folks, these folks, doctors, they understand what I'm saying. The people themselves and their doctors, they see it. I've put my energy into some people overseas, like a couple times, one time in Britain. And their skeleton was out of whack, and in order for me to do what I was doing, it was necessary for my energy to crack their neck. I did not go there with the intention of, not cracking their neck like hurting it. I know chiropractors hate it when I say crack my back, but to realign. But that was my energy outside of the body, and it does have a mind of its own, and it literally put enough energy in there and just cracked the back. I put it in over here, but then through the field it just increases it and would actually crack the guy's, realign the gentleman's skeleton up to his neck. You could hear it, and that atlas is very, you know, that's a difficult adjustment. And you hear that snap right over the Skype or the phone. There's no big whoopee-doo about this. It's a chalkboard with information. That's what I'm giving you, okay? As time goes on, more and more doctors, geneticists, scientists, there's another field that's breaking into, so physicists, but not yet. Understanding of raw energy, but that's not yet. Jumped the gun on that one. Anyway, there are different glands in the brain, different areas where there's energy fields that I want to go ahead and explain. There's machines similar to MRIs. There's going to be a development of an MRI that's going to be more for reading metaphysical energy, where they're going to be able to see the energy going through the body. That hasn't been invented here yet, but it will be soon. These quantitative electroencephalograms, they can actually show energy flow. Okay. They have systems where the people can buy the apparatus at the house, plug it into the computer and with the proper software on it, and send the results in to different medical groups, and they diagnose what's going on. The government supercomputers also pick that up. That's okay. These government groups, they're really close to being dealt with. Things are going to change the way they should have been. This country was founded on we the people for a reason. And it's never been that. After the ink dried, it was never the same. And then, of course, we devolved in relationships and the thought process of true government, of being of the people, for the people, and by the people. We've devolved from that ever since the ink dried. Anyway, back to the brain. Anytime I talk about anything, there's always more to it than just the one topic matter, because there is more to it than just the topic matter for you to understand, to get a full grasp of what's going on. I don't go out of my way to bore people and take too much of their time. I'm giving you information to use for your benefit. I've been doing this for years, thousands of times. This body's sick. I want to get out of it. I have work to do. I have to deal with the other side all day long. And they're idiots for the most part. A lot of them are really cool. They're staying out of the way and just waiting for this to be over for me to get out of here. Anyway, back to the brain. Energy fields and glands related to them in the brain. You have the open crown, which is usually right about like this, okay? When I go crank people up, I literally open that thing up to where it's close to or actually touching the ears. Okay, and then it just comes up like a flashlight beam. It slowly opens as it goes up. That's where most of the spirit, the sentient energy, flows. And then the rest of the body coming out, well, then that's more energy than it is spirit. Not all energy, but it's more energy than spirit. Having said that, and that's very strong, very much the case with people whose energy fields are oriented around the pineal gland. Okay, those people, there's three basic areas. There's the pineal, there's the heart, and then there's the solar plexus. Okay, now there's a lot more different energy fields in a body. These are the ones where you have your power oriented. I call it a core spirit orientation, core energy flow orientation. It's a dual spirit energy flow for almost everyone. Actually, it is for everyone. There's almost no one that doesn't have that in there, and I'm it. Things are changing positive for everyone. People say they can do that. They can't. They're full of it anyway. So when the heart energy, excuse me, when the heart energy, a lot of the energy coming out of their heart is very powerful, and it has a ton of spirit in it. The way the hearts work, The hearts grab the data from the brain. They grab the emotions from the base chakra, pull them together, mix them up, and then send it out. Now, it doesn't just go out in front of you and back. It goes out everywhere and back in. Now, also, that feeling, it creates a feeling. The base emotion from the base, what they call the base chakra or the base energy field, where the spine meets the hip, all the way up into the brain where they get data relative to number 8, and then it is pulled together in the heart relative to number 2. That'll come up later. You'll see it just happening, and when you do this, it's simple. There's 10-digit numerology. It's simple. It exists. It's real. All it is a little buffer to help you keep going down the road. Okay, it's like curb on the sidewalk. Basic idea of keeping you in line. It'll help you say yes, it's good, it's okay. Anyway, no, I don't. I realize this. I don't use that. I'm here to make action, not see it and learn it and stuff. Okay, been there, done that. So the heart takes this feeling and it sends it up into the hypothalamus area, hypothalamus gland area of the brain, and then it adds more data and comes down into the heart as understanding. The heart and the hypothalamus, but mostly the hypothalamus, excuse me, create understanding. And then that is added to the feeling and goes in and out. That's why a lot of people who are empathic have heart energy, strong heart energy. They're actually getting some of the thoughts. All of us do this, but the heart people are better at accessing it. They get more of people's thoughts. It's part of the heart, okay? Now, if you're a geneticist, you don't need some of this information, but psychiatrists and other doctors, yes, you do. So bear with me here, okay? I'm doing this as quick as I can. But this information, all of you are going to use later. In the business of QEEGs, that's going to take off through the roof as people evolve and grow. And those of you that are involved doing this now, you're in the right business at the right time. Anyway, without trying to make a video about that. So, you have the upper crown up here, and then it's like the way your energy comes out, it's like a flashlight beam. It also continues in that same direction into your head, and it goes into the middle crown energy field. If you were to take a magnifying glass, okay, circular magnifying glass lens, and place it on your head, and it sank down inside your head to right above your ears, and generally speaking, that's where it is. That's where the middle crown is, okay? And it's like a disc type of energy field. And then when the spirit, knowledge, etc., comes into the top of the head, it goes into the upper crown, funnels a little bit, and then goes into that middle crown. And then that takes the information, data, understanding, and focuses it onto the lower crown. Now, if you take the hypothalamus gland in the brain, and if you were to cover it with a blanket, just let it fold out to where it is, and then raise it up a little bit, this is the lower crown. That lower crown has got that focused information, but then it's spreading it out. There's literally like a little storm of energy that occurs in between the hypothalamus gland and then the lower crown, and that's where the information goes in and out. Okay, it's like lightning and all kinds of stuff going on. You're gonna when you build this new type of MRI, you're gonna see this for yourself. Our friends flying around on these neat little ships, they have that. They have a lot more than that. People are finally starting to understand the real. We have them running around the house all the time, except for when the fighting over here gets crazy. I don't mean me and Deanna. I'm talking about me and the other side. Anyway, that's the basic process of that. Now, the hypothalamus gland. Okay, the hypothalamus gland is like it's like the nexus, the center of all your different metaphysical abilities. They go in and out. We used to say that we only use 10% of our brain. No, we don't. We use about 85% of our brain. And then the rest is like a storage capacity kind of thing, and other parts of the brain that are literally dormant, waiting to wake up. Once you start using your abilities, then you really start getting strong, and then your brain starts kicking in more. Okay, now the pineal gland. The pineal's right in the back part of the brainstem. Where it goes into the people call it a reptilian brain, subbrain, whatever. It goes in just for the large part of the brain, and then the energy field goes through the spine, and it comes out from right here, right between the eyes and right above, from right there to right above the clavicle, underneath the larynx. That is the pineal energy field. Okay, that's what it's used to see multidimensionally. It also helps people speak. People have known for years that that lapis lazuli stone sometimes will help them talk when they're giving lectures. So they'll actually put a piece or two in their pockets. Good idea. Now, gee, maybe Jay formulated all this stuff from reading this, reading that, and he thinks he knows what he's talking about. The DNA ICUC, hello, I do this for a living. I've been doing it for years. Not the DNA ICUC, but the ICUC, been doing it for years. No, that's not the way it is. I don't mean that aggressive statement towards everyone. I'm talking towards those people that want to have this attitude. No. I see it. I do this. It's what I am. It's a big reason why I'm here. Big part of the reason why I'm here. So anyway, also, to see, there are two huge occipital lobes in the back of the brain. Physical seeing and understanding. Now, you can see out of the corner of your eyes, multidimensionally. It's just the way the eyes put together. Okay? And then you can see multidimensionally, just for a fragment, all those little black blotches that go zooming by. It's just not all the time, but every once in a while, and that's your spirit guides condensing their energy strong enough to where you can see it out of the corner of your eye, but then you go to look, and there's nothing there. Well, that's because you're no longer looking out of the corner of your eye. That's something to help people who aren't awake yet to actually see something that's metaphysical, okay? If it's really important for you to wake up, you're going to start seeing that bigger, stronger. They're going to start getting your attention going towards the front of your face. A lot of people see like black, it's like a black shadow they can't touch, but they see a black shadow there. That you're seeing people out of body. People that do that, almost all of you are pineal based. Anyway, I talked about the two occipital lobes of the brain back here. Now, on the front of the brain, there's another occipital lobe. It's almost like a flat screen that conforms to the inside of the skull there. Okay, it's behind the sinuses. That your pineal sees through that. Okay, the pineal sees multidimensionally. It goes through a lot of different dimensions up and down. Okay. The way the dimensions go, we're in the third dimension. Right above us, where everyone lives on the other side, the second dimension. Above that is the first dimension, which no one can get into. It's nothing gets out, nothing gets in. Not until later on next year. Anyway, and when nothing still will, it'll be controlled, except some things will, but nobody can just go in and go in or out. Anyway. So, the pineal you see all through all these dimensions, okay, and there's other dimensions below us. It goes up and down. There's three major dimensions in different places in the universe, around different solar systems, different planets. There's multidimensionals. There's different dimensions coming off of that. I've done videos before explaining how dimensions are made and everything else, the barrier and everything else. No, the veil's not getting thinner. As a lot of people say, the barrier, no, people have come more awake, more aware. Okay, now... remote viewing, the thing that the military has been spending so much money on. They're trying to understand, how to control it, how to manipulate it. They can feed people different fluids, vitamins, all kinds of things, and it can help. But it's controlled through the field. It's not for governments to control. They never will. There's been enough of it done where people have proven, the military understands it's real, but because they can't control it, then they don't waste a whole lot of time in it. They just hope to find someone who's good at it and then use them to their advantage, and then they'll get the person to help them a couple of times, but then not help them the next 9. That's by design. This world, your lives are controlled by the other side, being the second dimension, the one right above us, where there's nothing but little bits of pieces of heavy particulate matter, but then it's where everyone lives as their true self, spirit, sentient energy. Now back to the brain. Okay, now, with this scanner, okay, people who are solar plexus oriented, the solar plexus energy field is 7/8 buried inside the actual dual spirit core of the body. So it's like you're standing up to your chest, top of your chest in a river that's moving along, not really fast, but moving along pretty good. It's harder for you to feel things, and you see things different. You see things as image, sometimes geometry. The image is different is what I'm trying to say there, because we see everything we see through image, different form of image. But I want to spend time with that. I want to spend more about the different energy fields in the body that help us to use our abilities, especially the brain. So anyway, solar plexus people usually have better memories. When they go to see something, they actually go through the scanner. But that scanner is up here, okay? And what feeds the scanner is a large part of the brain. No need to go into lobes and stuff like that, period. Okay, I do that, and I know exactly what's going to happen. More people and animals being dissected. That would only go on for a few more months, but whatever. Anyway, so that's how you see by remote viewing. See something that's inside a safe, a piece of paper or artifact, or something under the ground. Now also, through the crown system, from the hypothalamus going outwards, coming out, the field energy is knowledge. People talk about the Akashic records. It's the field. The field energy is everywhere, but there's spirit within it. It has knowledge, and it offers it to those who need it and deserve it. For the most part, it's kind of open, but when someone has an agenda, it's shut. They're not getting nothing. All right, anyway, back to the brain. So the scanner's up here. Just know that it's the major part of the brain that is using the scanner to do this, okay? Now, when a scanner does all this, it goes through the hypothalamus. When the pineal goes to see something, it goes right through the hypothalamus. When the heart feels things with this electromagnetic energy that goes through it, it goes through the hypothalamus. The core energy, your gut feeling, it's not just an on-off yes or no, but it's like one that has a potentiometer in it. There's like a strong yes, softer yes, or maybe a strong no, softer no, maybe. That's solar plexus. That goes through the hypothalamus. Infused, what they call infused knowledge, information you get through the field, that goes into the hypothalamus. The hypothalamus is the nexus for all metaphysical abilities. And for the folks I'm talking to that don't understand, they can look it up real quick on Google, but for you doctors, geneticists, scientists, you already know that's where the hypothalamus is right up there by the low part of the brain, embedded, I guess, in that lower section of it, or the upper part of the brainstem. I don't know the right terminology, but I know the gland. So that's a good basis of how it works. Now the pituitary gland, what's that about? Its energy field goes right into the hypothalamus too. The job of the pituitary gland is to strive to put high definition clarity on everything that the hypothalamus is working towards seeing and understanding. The pituitary gland is in the front part of the brainstem But it produces an energy field that moves basically in this manner all over through the head. I see it moving in waves, and the top of it is open, right where the crown goes through. Those people that have watched me work the pituitary gland, when I put my energy into it, crank it up, make it stronger, start it growing, get it clean, you'll see me go like this, then like this, and sometimes in the bottom I go underneath the occipital lobes and come up like this. It's like a reverse flow, but it literally stimulates it. That's what I'm doing when I do that, because I see it. So anyway, that's important information. You don't have to be a doctor, geneticist, or a psychiatrist, a scientist who uses this information. This is for everyone. But there's more medical science professionals coming into this now. It's time. This needs to happen now before I get out of here. Again, this is information about everyone and everything and what's happening. It's about the evolution of the human body on this planet. There's other stuff happening on other planets. People, this is creation-wide. It's past time. So, I hope that helps. If you are in the medical field and or science, if you're a professional doing this and you need some help, you can reach Deanna. Having said that, there's probably going to be 100 people turning around, writing in right away, just wanting to understand more about it, what's going on. I gave you all the base information in this video. If I have the time, I'll do a more thorough job on a DVD for people to purchase, before I go. Some people get mad that some of this stuff's for sale. I give you more than what you need for free. But for all the little ins and outs, sorry. Electricity, cameras, food. Yeah. When I don't have to pay for anything, I will never charge for anything. That ain't gonna happen. Especially with the little time I got left. Anyway, so that'll help you all out. And those of you that are doing these QEGs or are buying them, you're going to be mapping out the evolution of the brain, of the human brain. I mean, is that a cool field or what? This is important for all of you. Anyway, folks, look, love you, man. Take care and have a good one.